Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. He go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Touchlight every corner. Oh, yeah, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo.
We are going home. Going back. Bye, bye, bye. Janja, we are going home. Dike, long time ago. Yeah. One Nigeria, they fool me, child. I don't wake up, my mumu don't do.
Hello there.
Niger, unity beggars.
Thank you very much for joining me from wherever you're watching from. This is Maiyegun Live, and then you can share this broadcast. Please let me know if you can hear me loud and clear.
Maiyegun la mo do.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun la mo do.
Maiyegun diary.
I'm sharing the broadcast. You should do the same.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré.
Femi Oponu Adesina, the deputy to Garbage Shehu, both of them are called presidency in Nigeria. If you have been following the politics of Nigeria like myself. You will know the person called Femi Oponu Adesina. He has a prayer for you for 2023. If you will make it that far, share the broadcast. Tell them. Tell them.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Because Nigeria president is photo absentia or absentee president. Buhari spent most of his life either locked up in a locked up room inside the asshole rock, the old people's home, Abuja, or is back in London where they are charging or recharging his battery and what have you, just for him to be able to wake up every morning to claim to be the president of Nigeria, absentee president. Buhari spent most time looking after himself and himself, not you. For 6-7 years, Buhari, a sick absentee president, created a lacuna. That lacuna in government created the cabal. The cabal in the government, backed by CPC part of APC. Agbekoya is a long story. That is where Femi Oponu Adesina came to prominence. And that is also where Garbage Shehu came into prominence. If Femi Oponu Adesina is not telling you how fatherly, how lovely Buhari is to him, especially the day Buhari gave him an envelope that contained dollars, and if from that day he adopted Buhari as his father, if he's not making statements like that, he will be making a statement of you Nigerians, which are completely divided, by the way, along their political, religious, ethnic, and all those biases that actually gives them this power they enjoy. If Femi Oponu Adesina is not calling you ungrateful elements, he will either be condemning you for not being thankful enough. He is a court jester, a praise singer, and he is the deputy to somebody called Garbage Shehu. So they created something called presidency in the absence of your Buhari, the lifeless breathing mannequin. Presidency. Whenever you say anything, the presidency will respond. Whenever they feel like you are feeling like, you are feeling more Nigerian somehow, like, am I right? All right. Presidency will speak. Buhari doesn't talk. Presidency talks. Because presidency somehow is the presidency contains the jester, Garbage Shehu, and Femi Oponu Adesina. So the latest one is that as they are winding up, hopefully if they are indeed winding up, said, if there is any wish he has, it will be for Nigerians to elect a president like Buhari. A wish that I actually want to touch on. But the exact parts I want to start from will be the drama many of you saw in Lagos. I think it was yesterday, talking about the out-of-school children. And every time I kind of, talk about every time I talk about the unfair arrangement called Nigeria, the unjust system that actually encourages this poverty at the highest never seen before scale in that country. And normally everybody should be concerned. And when you talk about poverty, oh, Nigeria, poverty capital of the world, it's convenient for some of us from the southern Nigeria to quickly just brush it aside, because we could easily give an example of a poor north. Living in denial is the second nature of many, many of us in southern Nigeria. Just like when I spoke about the insecurity. and I spoke about the unfair system that we call the Bambi-Allah system that limited and stunt our growth, how it's affecting us and the rest of that. And some of you feel like, well, it's not that bad. Well, out of school children, when they mention Almajiri, sometimes it's a convenient word or it's sort of a slave word by most of us from southern Nigeria that actually symbolizes, the abject poverty of northern Nigeria, Almajiri system, out of school children. But in southern Nigeria, we are suffering greatly the same fate. Our children who are supposed to be in school, they are either out there trading. And many of us who actually survived that because we grew up that way. I have to go and do, when I was 10, I had to go and run, do some trading for my mom, go and hawking and all of that stuff. When you did have choice. But you know one thing? There are millions of children in southern Nigeria, in Yoruba land to start with. There are over 2 million children in Yoruba land who are supposed to be in school, but they are not. And they have no chance or choice of going to that school simply because a system that doesn't even have a reliable data. Reliable data that will say, these children, this is the number of children we have in each state. And these are their ages. And also, these are those who are supposed to be in school. Are they in school? No, they don't. So Lagos State Governor, now that election is coming, you are going to begin to see a lot of stunts like this, right? When we talk about poverty, it covers everyone. When we talk about out-of-school children, it covers everyone. Some are just easy to, some accept it easily, even though they do nothing, while others are living in denial. You have seen this video.
Is it Hausa?
But I've not been to Lagos.
Oh, you just came to Lagos? Yes. From where? From which state? Kano. Father Lord Almighty. How old are you? 12. How old are you? 9. So where you go? You're going to grind pepper?
Yes.
For your parents there? Yes. Where do they stay?
Anthony.
Anthony?
Yes.
How can I get to your parents now? Do you know their number? What are we doing? Why they are not allowing you to go? You are 9, you are 12, okay?
That's just a glimpse. Many people have praised by the governor for giving them scholarship. And others have condemned the governor. So if you ask me, Maiyegun, what are you going to do? I will say, well, I'm going to condemn the governor. And it's not just him. Because you heard the children, they recently moved to Lagos. I decided to use that video to give you the picture of how degenerated the system is and has become, and how worse it's going to be, because you see those children like that, they are everywhere in Nigeria. But I will use Southwest Nigeria, Yoruba land, as comparative, what have you now, okay? When we talk about out-of-school children, and then we talk about the consequences of that. First, let's talk about the situation that usually lead to children, that people giving birth to children that they can't take care of. And at the same time, the system which encourages it, right, is unable to actually have a plan for them or care for them. And at the end of the day, the system that created them, the system that abandoned them, that system will have to deal with the consequences of that singular act. And it's been like that from generation to generation. In 2015, APC, Agbekoya, among many promises they made, poverty in Nigeria will make, when you fall into poverty, there is between 50% and 100% chance that if you have family, your children are going to end up in other people's homes, as you know what I'm talking about. Or if anything happens and then you become so poor that you can't really care for them anymore, because we have that, your children will end up on the streets. Now, talking about the poverty created by the political class year in, year out, encouraged, by the way, or supported or validated by the same people who always fall into that victim of a poverty. Now, your children, the parents are poor. They have family, they have children. The children ended up in the care of other people. In the case of Northern Nigeria, what they usually do is this. Once you have kids and you can barely feed yourself, you can hand that kid over to a cleric. So in Northern Nigeria, they now have that system called Almajiri system. It was meant to be a good system, according to them. A system that allows a guardian of either orphans, children from homes, who probably from poor homes and all of that, being trained in Quranic studies and possibly being sent to school, the proper school, while at the same time they serve that cleric. That's the Almajiri worldview. So as the Northern Nigeria, as the people fall further into poverty, more children end up in the hands of all these Islamic clerics in Northern Nigeria. Now, the jihad that they brought to Nigeria, how could they be useful? What could they use them for? But before that, some of these guardians too, they don't really have real money to take care of these children. What do? They turn them into servants. The worst case, children are sent onto the streets by the same clerics that are supposed to be their guardians. They are sent to the streets to go and beg for alms. So whatever they bring back is what they are going to feed from. So children as young as 3 years old, 5 years old are being pushed on that street by those guardians. Now, that is where the government should have come in. If you actually have government, I'll tell you why they didn't and why they won't. Excuse me. And I'll tell you about the consequences. And I'll come down to the southwest Nigeria. Why many of these things that many of you know are already happening in there, within and around you, but you're probably just living in denial of it. And it is not just the Hausa children you are finding on the street of Lagos. There are more, but I'll get to that. They couldn't care for the children. The government doesn't care either. In fact, the government doesn't even know how many numbers of children are in care of different clerics all over the Northern Nigeria. Religion, they were protected. Immunity from investigation or supervision. Most of these children, right, among other abuses, they are subjected to hardship. Many of them are sexually assaulted. Terrible one, psychological one. Then as things get bad, from bad to worse, these children became the recruiting market, the recruiting gap for those who wanted to perpetuate criminality, including terrorism, the neglect of government there. And that went on for years until the terrorists in Nigeria were able to raise enough army, most of them children. So democracy came. Nobody cared for them. Nobody could account for them. And there's also migration. You see, when people were running, when the crisis now started, some people who couldn't give their children to clerics to care for, they migrated down south. Not because the government in down south had any plan for anyone, not even for their own people there. So everything coupled, the Almajiri system of over 13 million in northern Nigeria started spilling. While yours that were brewing in southern Nigeria continue to grow to the pandemic level that you have it now. And some of you should not deny this. Now, When we were growing up, you will see a lot of children in traffic begging in southern Nigeria. Up to this moment, I am yet to see any part of Nigeria where they have a plan for children genuinely, which actually cares for the welfare of children in Nigeria. No part of Nigeria, none. But election is coming. Election is coming. They will be pampering them. They will be, they will be giving, you'll be getting different photo ops with them. You'll be seeing different rehabilitation going on. You'll be seeing a lot. And just like what happened in 2018, 2019, after the election, the states like Kaduna, Kano, Niger, Bauchi, and all these places, they started deporting children that they arrested on their streets, begging the Almajiri children. So in southern Nigeria, you now have our own children. Well, it's not new. It's just that it is now escalating. What happened? More people have fallen into poverty in the last 7 years than they were prior to that. And the proof is this. You get to see more people now who you will say, well, they are just lazy. Everyone is now begging. Everybody is having a this. We are all trying to survive. Why is everybody begging? It is the poverty. And it is evidential. You can see why. In the last 7 years, many homes have been further destroyed. Children have become breadwinners in their different family homes. Young children. You've seen the escalation of money ritual. They are cutting people's heads. And on social media, you see Babalawo, you see Mamalawo, you see pastors, you see everybody trying to tell everybody that there's a way out, there's a way out. As the poverty increase, yeah, so with the crime increase as well. And in this case, so with more children who are going to be the victims of all of this. You see, when you talk about the poverty, when you talk about corruption, when you talk about poor governance in Nigeria, and when you talk about this terrorism and the rest of that in Nigeria, and all of this, right? The demography that people don't really talk about, who are actually victims, the greatest victims, are the youth and the children. When I say youth, young people, teenagers, have been subjected to the pressure of survivor that they see adults subjected to, because those they would normally have run to shield them, they are also suffering. I'm talking about adults who are supposed to protect children. All right. So it became a mean word. People are now saying that, Baba, it is cold outside. So children are now hustlers. And in this case, when poverty strikes, and then the children in a family, let's say you have a family of 5, 3 children, you've got 3 kids, and then a father and mother, 5 people. And something happens. The father lost his job. He can no longer pay his rent. He can no longer pay for the extra tuition he paid for his children. He can no longer even pay for their tuition, their school fees anymore, right? He could barely feed them. Things are getting out of hand so fast. Yeah? And before you know it, he probably results into gambling, drinking. He became more irresponsible. And these things happen so fast. His family is already in tatters, apart. I've had families, young families who were promising years ago. They would look promising. Today, yeah, the wife is probably just doing her own thing elsewhere. The guy is completely gone from the track he was on 5-6 years ago. And I'm saying this as the reality of today. So when they talk about the consequences of the actions of your politicians, right? And you probably don't understand it or how it works. I'm giving you the real life picture now. Family is being thrown, family being torn apart. So at the end of the day, your wife becomes somebody else's side chick, because that's how she can manage to probably run along economically somehow. Some people, not everyone does that, by the way. But again, when that thing happens, and it just happens like a thunderbolt, and you can no longer do what you do anymore as a man, that is the reality of Nigeria, the poverty eating you. Your children at that moment, they can be somebody else's children. Yes, you can be somebody else's father. Your children may no longer recognize you anymore. Your lovely wife may no longer you may no longer even recognize your wife anymore. So at the end of the day, we are raising children in conflicted homes mostly due to our ignorance and selfishness because of what the adults want to get today. They don't care about the consequences of that. But I said, you see, children in homes, marriages, I mean, how many people have become single parents now? How many women who never really planned this? It was meant to be good. Then suddenly everything just changed. The guy is now irresponsible. He's no longer that's not an excuse, you will say. But it's so easy to say. So children ended up on the streets. They ended up as hustlers. Female, a girl child becomes susceptible or vulnerable to rape. This happened around us, and somehow, people don't know that the consequences of your decisions every now and then to encourage what Nigeria has become by claiming your one Nigeria epistle, there are consequences that you're not paying attention to. Children who end up on that street. And listen to this, those children now grow up to adults. And I'll give you an example. And I'm using the Southwest now. One sec. In 7 years, more people falls into poverty than the 16 years prior to the APC, Agbekoya's emergence. This is facts. More people became more unemployed under APC, Agbekoya, in 7 years than the first 16 years combined. More businesses shut down in Nigeria in 7 years, which actually led to that, more job loss. I mean, the job losses that I just mentioned now, and then the unemployment in Nigeria. That's a fact. More businesses shut down in Nigeria than the first 16 years of democracy before the APC, Agbekoya. And to capital, Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world under APC, Agbekoya. So combine the APC, Agbekoya's time, and then people destroying people's time, PDP of 16 years, 22, 23 years of these rogues. And then you have more than 60 to 70 million young people who are between the ages of 1 and 23 in Nigeria. What does that tell you? Simply says, for 22 years, PDP, APC, whatever name you want to give to them, they planned nothing. For those that were alive then, and for those that were not then but are now alive, nobody had any plan for you. Whether you are a Yoruba from Yoruba land, whether you are from Hausa land, from Igbo land, from wherever land you come from, there was no plan. But people were giving birth. So if you have a son or a daughter or a grandson or granddaughter whose ages are between 1 and 23 in Nigeria, tell me what you think was Nigeria planned for them. You as a parent or grandparent or as a guardian from wherever you live, can you tell us what you think Nigeria did to those you know in that age bracket? Absolute nothing. But there is consequence, if not consequences. In northern Nigeria, for 22 years of no planning, of nothing, the young people that were given birth to then, they became the ready-made tool for terrorism in northern Nigeria. Yes. The jihad going on in northern Nigeria became very, very easy to move because the generation of young people that will fight the jihad, they were being trained by religious fanatics who had no plan for them, just like the government. They took them from their parents with the promise of leading them aright to become useful for the society. But no, they became religious fanatic, politically, religiously, name it. Violence is the language, trust me. And they were able to groom millions into Nigeria. And that is why the same children who knew how they grew up, it was hard, it was tough, nobody cared about them, they slept in the cold, they begged to feed, many times they went to bed, hungry. But they just had to give everything they had to the master, the sheikh, or to the mullah, or to the malam, or whatever they call him. And the state, the government that should care for them, they give no damn. So what do you expect? You want the children to grow up after begging on the streets to become what? To become astronauts? To become engineers? Or what? Of course, they will always be available to be used for any kind of criminality, since that is what Nigeria understands. And that's exactly what they gave. So when they were given this false democratic nonsense in 1999 till now, and they were told you, we are building this, we are building that, the best road is the best road that, the children that were going to start bombing them, they were grooming them and telling them how to shout Allahu Akbar when they kill their fellow human being for no just reason. That was what that brought 22 years of democracy in Nigeria. It didn't build future. It stole it. It killed it. And then turned it into monster to hunt the rest of us. And they are not done. More and more children are falling into poverty every minute in Nigeria. But they can pop them up for whatever they want to pop them up for the sensation, the media hype. But the reality is this. Do you see Nigeria have any plan for the children? Do you see them have plan for those out of school children? I'm talking about the next, some of you are getting ready now to go and validate their fraud again, right? Good luck to you. But the next 4 years, the 4 years after that, before you know it, it's going to be another 16 years. Add that to 23 years, you'll probably be looking at 39 to 40 years. That means the children that were given birth to in 1999, they will be 40 years if all of you are still waiting for 8 years, 4 years of this one, 8 years of that one to change Nigeria. Those children that are carrying guns today, that are kidnappers today, that are the Yahoo boys of today, the panther stealers, the headquarters, the human butchers who are looking for this and that. All right? Those ones, they would have become 40 years old then. Bigger monsters. The ones that are building right, they are breeding, or you are helping them to breed right now, they will be ready as a new monsters that will supersede the ones you are facing now. In a nutshell, the longer you keep Nigeria together, the bloodier it becomes for you to survive inside that Nigeria. See, wake up, smell the morning coffee. The result of the last 23 years of democracy in Nigeria has brought you nothing. Is groomed the generation of time bomb that will give you a run for your own money. And that is where some of us are now saying, listen, if you possibly want to care, apart from what Femi Oponu Adesina is saying, right? If you really want to care for those who have become victims and you care for the people that much, we will start from dismantling the system that encouraged this. You don't wish it away. You don't roll a dice on it. You don't gamble it. It is what it is until it is not. It will keep giving you, it's like the same tree. It will keep bearing you the same fruit. So what do I mean by that? People can survive on their own. If people are held responsible for their actions and there is no cover or kind of safety net for those who deliberately, keep us in perpetuity of underdevelopment and then terror. Nigeria is not meant to be one country controlled by one man or group of men, whether you want to call them powerful, power this or that, whatever you want to call them. It is like a slave camp where the state decides who succeed and by how much, and who goes down, and by how down. A state-controlled prison. That is what they've made Nigeria, and that is the problem, not who becomes the president and when or where, from where. No, it is not. Femi Adesina will do his job because he gets paid for it. His daughter suddenly now studies in America. The moment they came in, she gained admission into an American university and she gained her own international certificate to qualify for your NNPC and every other position jobs, as much as it is a license of people, some being more Nigerian than the other. But if you think it very well, this whole thing is so easy. If not for the ignorance and the greed of some of you who probably kind of love your, you love your chains and then differently, so to say. In Nigeria, the only thing that keeps Nigeria one, the reason why the elite continue to fight and slug it out among themselves without any kind of difference or differences like, religion and religion, tribe, and all those stuff that you find common among Nigerians and what have you, they don't deal with that. The reason why it is so is because the way Nigeria is structured, all you need, if you want to gain power, if you want to gain wealth, I'm talking about uncontrollable, endless pool of wealth that nobody can touch, and you yourself probably no one can touch. If you desire that, then go for the presidency of Nigeria and do anything and everything you can to get that, right? Just like Buhari, it is not meant to solve Nigeria problem. They all know the only way to solve Nigeria problem is to start talking about it. And I mean, the people who could make a difference to start talking about it. That's how to solve a problem. But when you kind of patch it and say, well, we know the problem, but you know what? Let's do this. We will deal with it later. It doesn't go away. And that's why presidency won't solve it. Let everybody share their own Gary. the advantage is endless. It makes people become responsible. When I say share our gari, it simply means for the first time, the people can get involved in how they want to be governed. Okay? Getting involved, referendum, new constitution, stuff like that. It's involvement of saying, yeah, we agree to that. And if there's anything that violates that, then we're no longer, going to be with that. Easy thing, easy out, a clause that gives you a leverage, something Nigerians have never experienced ever, unfortunately. That's why it's so difficult when you say referendum, they're like, no, go and contest the election to come and solve our problems. No, the advantage is this. In northern Nigeria, they can, for the first time, the supposed learned people from northern Nigeria, they can, for the first time, design a template of how, or kind of politics, or kind of government, or kind of whatever they want to run, the laws and all of that, right? Without anybody raising an eyebrow like, no. You know what I mean? Currently in Nigeria, right? Northern Nigeria, 13 states in northern Nigeria, they have Sharia, and they have this Sharia law. Alcohol is not allowed except for the elite who drink alcohol, who do the drug, do all of those things they ban. But by Sharia, it's forbidden. Women cannot wear trousers, like men. You cannot, in Kano, you cannot use a mannequin to display your clothes as a tailor or designer in your shop. It is haram. Okay? But also, if you should go into any kind of alcoholic business like beer, wine, champagne, and all those stuff, right? If they found them in Kano, or if they found them in Kano, Kaduna, and a few other places like that, they will burn them, they will destroy them. Now, they will have the opportunity of, if Nigeria breaks up, they will have the opportunity to implement such. They will have the opportunity of, letting the cows roam the streets. Or they will not even allow that in a normal way. They won't allow it. But the irony of it all is this. As Nigeria is currently that way right now, where the Sharia and the Isba police and all of them are very, very active in northern Nigeria, the same 13 states in northern Nigeria, whenever they want to share VAT, value-added tax, from alcohol, which actually makes almost 55 to 60% of the VAT generated in Nigeria, they will collect the lion's share from that money, from that alcohol. When they want to share money from, what do you call it? What do you call this business? Hotel business. They actually have a sector for them, not tourism. You have, anyway, hotels and all those things that comes with it, clubs and all of them, that actually pay VAT. Yeah. When they share that money, these 13 states in northern Nigeria, they frown at all those things. It's Sharia, it's nonsense, it's haram, it's against our religion. Don't bring it to our state. Don't come and corrupt our children. Don't blah, 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 blah. Every month, they collect billions and billions and billions of money from the VAT paid from that. That is unfair. You can't run a country and call it one country, one Nigeria. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. So if you want to have such control because of your religion, because of your, your tribe. Now, here is another one. The same northern elite who believe that, thank you very much, it's called hospitality business, hotel business. They have a very lovely name for it, hospitality. But it's haram. It is haram. If you see hotel in northern Nigeria, they don't expect you to sell alcohol. And they don't expect you to bring anybody in for short time. Meanwhile, hotels in southern Nigeria, they were able to generate more money and they were able to pay more tax because you can do short time. They don't care. Now, neighbor, come do short time. They don't care. Pay your money and go away. You are adults. You are old enough to make your own decision. And it is between you and your God. So religiously, they lied to their people that they were banning those. But on the other hand, for one Nigeria, they are sharing money from the same. And guess what? When they now get paid, they take the money back to that same 13 states in northern Nigeria where Sharia is. The people that are doing the haram and Nigeria is collecting money from them, they are not even enjoying the tax that they are going to hellfire for. They are not enjoying it. The tax is going back to the north, where politicians now use that money to fund their own political base, give money to thugs, give money to terrorists, who also use the same money to buy drugs. When they get high, they buy guns. When they get high, they carry the gun, they take their guns and they go on the street and start killing. Or they kidnap more people so that they can buy more drugs. Do you see the irony of it? That is the unfairness of Nigeria. Not just that. It's not just that. Because of this irresponsibility, the northern politicians relies more on the violence that the decades of poverty, deliberate generational miseducation, the strength of that for their political, which became their political, the violence that comes with it became their power over the rest of Nigeria, which they call one Nigeria. It is even worse. It's even worse. In Zamfara, simply because of the violence in northern Nigeria, Nigeria has not invested in education, healthcare, infrastructure in the last 13 years. And I'll tell you how that affected our people in Yoruba land. Bambiala system is a system that everybody pretends that they have political power or they have political positions, but they don't have any power. You have governors, you have senators, you have everybody braggadocio, doing everything everywhere, doing like they have something, but they don't have anything. At the end of the month, all of them, they have to queue for the crumbs or whatever they have to give to them by the center, after the center has raided everywhere for whatever they can get or sell, whatever it is, and they'll give them the peanuts. At the end of the day, they do go back to also tax their people to gain more, but it's never enough because the greed at the center has spread to every part of the component of every part of the body, right? In Nigeria. So, Bambiala system was birthed. However, in Zamfara became the hotbed of terrorism under the APC, Agbekoya, as well as so many other states in northern Nigeria, including Sokoto, Kaduna, southern Kaduna, Bauchi, Adamawa, Yobe, Kebbi, and some of these places, the insecurity escalated, and that cost Nigeria more. So when Nigeria has no money to invest in education, our children didn't get better education. Our children didn't get a good, conducive environment to study. Those who actually managed to study or to get that education, no matter how adulterated it's become, they are unemployable. They've got no jobs. Because Nigeria is investing Over 4 trillion naira every year fighting insecurity. And Nigeria is spending 40 billion every year on education for 200 million human beings. How does that work? Poverty. And how do they get the money? Nigeria has become indebted. I mean, terribly indebted. That according to Amechi, China is no longer picking their calls. They've borrowed too much and everybody's like, these guys are mad, man. Nigeria is in debt, a serious one. That if Nigeria makes 1,000 naira from tax or sale of crude oil or anything, they will need to spend 900 naira servicing the debt, the money they've borrowed. They are left with nothing other than to go and borrow money again. In the process, your schools are worse. They are worse off. Your hospitals have no, doctors. They have no medicine. People are not getting paid. Everything is in shambles simply because the chunk of your money goes into paying for the debt that Nigeria incurred because Nigeria is fighting terrorism. So 1/3 of your budget goes into fighting terrorism that were never fought. They never fight any terrorism. Of course, they never fought any terrorism or any terrorist. They free them once they repent. So, no money for education, no money for healthcare, no money for good roads. Let us go and borrow and pretend that we are constructing something. So, when this happened, the people from Eastern Nigeria, the Igbo people, the Biafrans, they have no good roads, they have no good hospitals, they have no good, they don't even have, they don't have electricity, just like everyone else. So they don't have good schools. The graduates have no job. Just same way you find in Yoruba land. Yorubas have no good hospitals, no good schools, no good roads, no nothing, no rail, no light. Because there's no money to build them. But they are having enough money to say they are fighting terrorism, that they are never fighting. That affects me. Because every penny they take from everywhere is the education, the life, the light, the road, the school, the library, the factory, the industry, everything that should be springing up in Yoruba land is what they are taking to fund their terrorism. Simply because we are part of Nigeria. So normally, if they say there is no terrorists in Yoruba land, how come that the Yorubas are paying to fight Boko Haram, to fight ISWAP, to fight Fulani terrorists? How come are we sharing in that payment? Because we are Nigeria. Abi? So this is why I said, if we are on our own, we can hold our own thieves responsible so that they won't come and say, what do you want me to do? This is how much they gave me in Abuja. So Zamfara discovered gold. And the insecurity in that part of Nigeria escalated. Farmers were being killed. Farms were being destroyed. Because terrorists believe that there are gold under the surface of their farms. That escalated quickly. Politicians saw an opportunity there. They said, no, don't let this gold end in the hands of these guys who don't know the value. Let's buy it from them. Nobody cares about the farmers. Nobody cares about the farms. People died, and people continue to die to this day. But guess what? Zamfara gold is not Nigeria's gold. That's unfair. That's unfair. It's unfair that you make Yorubas to continue to bleed for the survivor of northern Nigeria under massive terrorist invasion. It's unfair that our children will not have access to good schools or good this, good that, or any good life. Because everything that should provide that for them is being channeled. It's unfair to commit the Biafrans to continue to fund the terror, the fight of the terror war in northern Nigeria. It is unfair for the people of Niger Delta to continue to pay for the rehabilitation of repentant terrorists because they are part of Nigeria. It's unfair. When on the other hand, there are some leverages. Leverages like, don't bring beer to our region. It's against our religion. Don't do this here. In fairness, when the South now said, okay, don't bring cows onto our streets. Don't bring guns onto our farms. And stop this madness on our people. Boom, bang. That statement is against the North. That statement is anti-Nigeria. And all those things, all those unfair statements, it's completely unfair. So if you want to talk about fairness, then you talk about fiscal fairness. If you can make all this decision, because for the integrity of whatever you call your region or your religion, what about others? That is fairness. If you let others decide their faith, their own faith too. But in Nigeria, you are not allowed. And that is why one Nigeria is a myth. And if you pay attention very well, the only thing that is real about Nigeria is the shared suffering, shared poverty, shared insecurity, shared corruption, shared backwardness, shared underdevelopment, shared loss of civil rights, shared misery, shared of miserability. There's nothing united in Nigeria than that. And when you now, like I said, the victims, the children, I mean, I can't imagine how my children are going to survive if I can no longer provide for them. I think you should ask yourselves the same questions. What will happen to my children right now if anything happened to me? What will happen to my family? What if I lost my income and I'm unable to get back on my feet again? What if I die? Will my children survive? And you look around you, you roll your eyes, and you're like, man, God forbid you. The moment you say God forbid, it means that you are scared that if something happened, your children may end up on the streets, your children or what have you, they may end up in a very bad place, a place that you don't want them to be. And that is why somebody like me want to tell you or continue to remind you the advantage of coming to term and get out of the unfair system, unfair arrangement that doesn't give you a choice, a system that did not and will never give you a choice until you make your choice yourself, like we demand and ask. Because it is fair enough to say, listen, this is not going to work. And we cannot continue to say Nigeria is not going to work, Nigeria is not going to work. But if we don't do anything, if we don't do something this time around, we will become victims. And part of what you should do is to understand the advantage of when people say, let us be on our own. Let's be on our own. Talk to yourselves. How is it so difficult to generate electricity in Nigeria? How? Why? Corruption, simplicity, a rotten, imbalanced system that will never allow that. It won't. Governance is not a rocket science. It takes responsible people to show responsibility and irresponsible people to be shown the door. What you have around you today, people who are presenting themselves and jumping up and down to want to find a solution to your problems in Nigeria, under one Nigeria, sincerely speaking, they belong to the dark side that, I mean, how can you be the problem or part of the problem? And then you want to be part of the solution? It doesn't make any sense to me. So they say it is, I think they say it's a symptom of insanity to be doing the same thing again and again and then expecting a different result. In my own opinion, so, I mean, let me give you another example, by the way. That one just came to my mind. In that same northern Nigeria, right? As all of you are championing 2023, 2023 and all of that, do you know that they have 19 states that makes up of northern and middle belt Nigeria? Let's put it that way. Okay, it's this mid belt Nigeria, this middle. States like Plateau State, Benue State, Kwara State. Give me more names. Kogi State. Where else again? Like, Taraba State. Those are not northern states. You know what I mean? But they are classed as part of the 19th. So if you divide Nigeria into two. Do you know that the following states, I'm going to tell you the ones that I can remember now. More than 5,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 communities are under the controls of terrorists in northern Nigeria. Let me give you the names. The states like Zamfara, Sokoto, Kaduna, Niger, Yobe, Kerbi, which other one again? Anyway, let me stop there. Those ones I can remember. Where those, Katsina, including Buhari State. Those communities, if you type Nigeria map, they will be in Nigeria. But they are no longer answering to the authority of Nigeria as you are watching this video. What do I mean by that? I will explain. Let's say my Odo Bolu or Ijebu Igbo in Ogun State. Let's say Ijebu Igbo is still Ijebu Igbo, or Ijebu Ode is still Ijebu Ode. But the difference is this. There is no longer Nigerian police station in Ijebu Ode. There is no more military or anything. Government in Odogbolu, because the ISWAP they've taken over. So what happened now is that after they killed those they will kill in those places, right? They now, those who ran away and abandoned, those who stayed back to survive, they have to be paying tax or taxes to the terrorists. Now, I just gave you that picture, but let me repaint it. Let's say the people of Ekpe in Lagos, even though Ekpe is still Lagos, they will say, Abi. But imagine the people of Ekpe, as big as Ekpe is, no Nigeria police, they don't dare them to go there anymore. No, they don't bond them. In fact, the Nigerian government, they've even boned them. They've abandoned them like, oh boy, we don't feel they waste our time there. Leave them. Communities like that, they are scattered all over northern Nigeria, including Borno. It actually started from Borno. I don't know how I missed that. It started from Borno. out of their 30 or 30, I mean 27 or so local government they have there, 24 local government is under the control of terrorists. I'm not joking. But you are still claiming one Nigeria, one Nigeria. You see those places, people are being shot to send money. Farmers are being shot because they didn't pay their tax, or they have a name for it. I think it's levy. They levy them. They say this community, you have to pay 5 million. Poor areas, though, people were selling things. People were like houses, so each house, everyone donating and contributing to pay so that they can stay alive in Nigeria. You see all this Femi Oponu Adesina, Garbage Shehu, and the rest of them that are telling you that Buhari is the best thing that happened to you after sliced bread. They don't give a damn about them. Now they don't care. Who gives a damn? There's so many people who are poor. And they, with 500 naira, they will line the street whenever they hear that Buhari is coming to town. There are so many people. That's why not just the terrorists have the pool of people to recruit from. The politicians also have a pool of poor, impoverished, and disoriented people to recruit from. So it doesn't cost them anything. Those communities can continue to live in hell. Who cares? Who knows? Who is going to go there and report it? Who's going to go there and interview them? Nobody. Or else you're going to die. They will take you. That is the situation. Nigeria is already divided between the terrorists and the northern jihadists, as well as the Fulani jihadists from the Sahel. So it is like the bandits, as they say right now, they are running mad every day. 11 people killed there, 22 people killed there, 45 people killed there, number of people kidnapped there. This social village is destroyed. Police 14 police. You know, it's the same thing. It's just like, oh boy, if now your turn, then catch you, then kill you. And story be that. You don't die. Just wait for your time. But on the other hand, they are praying that you should get another person like Buhari. What do you think you're going to get? Of course, you're going to get somebody worse than Buhari. As long as it is Nigeria. And as long as, whether you're a Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, what have you, as long as you promote one Nigeria or defend one Nigeria that you have no idea of, right? You should always remember the victims, the children. Those are the consequences. And they're going to grow up too. I know many of you are out there hustling, trying to make your own end meet, because your own hustle is important. No wahala. But you see those children, they are also going to grow up and they need to survive too. And guess what? When you probably finally make it, they are going to come for you, because then they are not going to understand who put them in this. The society will pay for it. And when they say the society will pay for it, like the society is paying right now, it's just you and I. Most of us will pay for it. And that's why it's good to speak up when you should. I mean, it's the right thing to do, isn't it? Here is something I picked up I wanted to share with you. It is this kind of.
Lift the flag up, ladies and gentlemen. When I lift her up now, it's okay. Lift it up, Rihanna.
Now, that's the team that were caught on the street. I think that was a Kwara. So Ilorin was there about. They want to Shibajo. We want to Shibajo. We want to Shibajo. APC explosion that I think I should tell you about. And at the same time, your career criminals who are going to jump ship. They're going to jump ship and they're going to jump into your PDP. Well, it's kind of ridiculous, by the way, even if some of you don't tell yourself this, okay? Tifnumbu and some of you are already kind of telling yourself that, okay, let me put it this way. Don't let me confuse you, because sometimes I feel like I'm going too fast. Oshibajo wants to be president. He's already told Buhari. That is why Tifnumbu declared publicly earlier than planned. However, the APC implosion that is looming has already started as we speak. And that has to do with the factionalization of their own trusted base, starting from Southwest, where Tifnumbu is expected to have a strong, stronger backing within the APC. Agbekoya is already divided. As they did their convention, as they did their state convention, I don't even know, or whatever, to elect their own state party chairman and all of that. Crisis already enveloped that. They already have factions as usual, 2 factions, okay? So this faction loyal to this faction loyal to Oshibajo, that faction loyal to Tifnumbu and their own state and all of that. That's where they start to. So now they are going to do their convention for the national, where some people are going to say, this person will be their chairman, that person will be their chairman. And at the same time, it's all for the purpose of whoever controls that, their national structure will have a chance of possibly winning their party primary for president. So Tifnumbu is about to be put to test, a very strong one here, by his own people from his own base as we speak. So some of them kind of love, are denying that. But the point where I feel like some of you kind of, I don't know, maybe you set yourself up to be played, because you always know how this is going to play out, right? They will create groups, factions like that, right? And then once these ones can't get what they want in APC, Agbekoya, suddenly they will cross over to PDP. And suddenly, PDP will start swelling with APC, because, that was what happened as well. CPC, APGA, ACN, and PDP, they came together to form APC. And you saw all of your big weights in PDP, when they created their own faction, when they couldn't get what they wanted, they all moved en masse to APC. And suddenly, APC became the biggest party in the world, according to them. So now that motion is already set again. They have started creating their faction. Don't pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you are APC or Side Barbarian or a Buhari idiot, you probably would deny it. But me, I tell you how it go be now, right? Your faction has started. The gullible idiots who have been brutalized by the APC for 7 years, 8 years, suddenly, right? They are going to watch these criminals, right? They're going to watch them move to PDP. And suddenly, they are going to start believing that, yes, APC is finished. PDP is going to save us. The criminals they saw for, just like some of the criminals they saw for 16 years of PDP, all of a sudden, they switch and they became APC. And just like that, the mumu buttons in some of those Nigerians switched as well. As long as this person there, but it's been PDP for, I don't care. Anybody that will defend Nigeria and make Nigeria better, fraudsters move to APC to make Nigeria better. Fraudsters, they've destroyed Nigeria, divided Nigeria, impoverished Nigeria, ran Nigeria aground into debt, bankrupted Nigeria. Now, the career criminals are already grouping. They are already setting motion. They are already setting moves in motion. So what they will do is that if they don't get what they want in APC, Agbekoya, they will jump to PDP. And some of you that are on-boot slaves, obedient fools, sophisticated morons. You are going to begin to build your hope on those thieves again. Maiyegun, forget that one. Nigeria we need to get away from this Buhari. We need to get away from this APC. Do you want us to go and vote for Tinubu? PDP is the only one. I say, okay. For to look very well. And the same people will make your life hell for 8 years. Now them they come now and save you because they changed Jesse. The same way they deceived you then, and you are so confident they are coming, they are leaving corrupt PDP, they are joining a new one, blah 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 blah. The same corrupt criminals, they've made so much money. Okay, whatever they can get here, they will move to the PDP, and PDP will suddenly become your savior. And then me, we sit down here, we know say everything go end in tears. You are telling me that God will shame me. How? It's so easy to predict. Then I begin to ask, like, does some of you actually think that? I'm talking about those who watch my video from Nigeria. Do you think like that? Do you ever feel like, more we be mugu? Or we'll tell ourselves the truth. Very soon, all this will be decamping. They want to save Nigeria. Like, and true, you will believe them because they're going to pool their resources. They will do all this, blah, 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 blah. Abi? And then you expect them to, the same criminals who have been in government since 1999, who couldn't even generate a light bulb for 24 hours. Suddenly, they have the idea under a new place. And boom, Maiyegun, shut up your mouth. We are trying to save ourselves from Buhari. No, you are trying to ruin yourself. You're not saving yourself from Buhari. You are just trying to delude yourself. And I don't want to be part of that. So that's why I said, you can choose your poison. If you don't want to keep drinking this poison of these criminals, because one Nigeria is a fraudulent arrangement. And trust me, trust yourself, trust your instincts. Dismantling it is best for everyone. And that gives that advantage of us to actually have an input into how we are governed. That's not too much to ask. They've done it. We've seen them. It's a repeated thing. It's brought us misery. It's brought us death. It's brought us underdevelopment. We've seen the worst done to humans, children, young people, old people. We've seen worst of the worst of that you can ever imagine of. And it seems that we've not seen anything yet. Break it up to save lives. Do that. And maybe, just maybe, we may stand a chance. I'm going to give myself a break, a quick one. Then when I'm back, we will continue in a while. And then we'll round up, by the way, because it's running late. Thank you. So there was this announcment that I was going to make if I was on last night, and it has to do with the Ilana UK hosting Pa Akintoye. Some of you probably need to see that video, the what do you call it? That conversation, the meeting. It happened today, but some of you probably have seen it out there. It's all about having Pa Akintoye meeting with the Ilana UK, where they discussed about the election or no election issue, the progress on the Yoruba Nation agitation, and so many other things that were discussed that I look forward, to possibly bring in to bring Ba Shegun onto the program sometime soon, so we can have a further conversation on the progress made so far, rather, on the Yoruba Nation agitation and awareness in the UK. So I am going to, then I actually got to read something about the Agbekoyas that said that if Benin Republic failed to release Oloye Sunday Igboho, that they are going to use traditional means to break him out of prison. I want to make you all believe this, right? I want you to understand something. That's actually not what they said, okay? For Nigeria headlines, for clickbait, they decided to use that so as to turn this into a mockery and all of that. So what the Agbekoya said was that the illegal detention of Oloye Sunday Igboho without trial is no longer acceptable to the people of Yoruba land. And with their own influence and worldview, if it was to be in Nigeria, it could have been a different story. But they gave the Benin Republic so time to release Oloye Sunday Igboho, an awareness that, or a sort of, awareness rather than a threat. But the media in Nigeria said they said they will have to break him out of the prison and what have you. That's actually not the context of what they said. But well, if we have any power to break Oloye Sunday Igboho out of the Benin Republic prison, I bet it is not metaphysical. That's all I can say on that. So ignore anything that is mocking that statement. It should be a sort of a statement that continues to remind Nigeria that they are committing a crime for illegally keeping Oloye Sunday Igboho in detention in Benin Republic, and they're not just doing it alone. Benin Republic is an accomplice in committing this international crime of kidnapping Oloye Sunday Igboho without trial. That's illegal. And I bet the right team, Ilanomo Dua, and every other team working behind the scene are exploring every step or what have you on how to go about this. I continue to believe that, by the way. Now we'll continue to tell you if I found anything new or anything worthy of an update to all of you. So far so good. We joined the Agbekoyas to demand for the release of Oloye Sunday Igboho. He's done nothing. He's committed no crime. It is where he is one of those who would have made the hell. Who would make life a hell for the Fulani terrorists, armed Fulani terrorists that has invaded that has invaded Yoruba land. Yes, although we also read it in the news that the police or the joint operation or whatever view, they went after those kidnappers on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway near Onigari and whatever you, and they arrested some of them. But hopefully they will keep that operation or they will keep that exercise going. So it won't be a one-off. You know what I mean? Not like that of Kaduna Abuja Expressway, where Kaduna Littlefinger led some kind of a show-off cameraman into the bush along the Kaduna Abuja Expressway, only for that to escalate afterward. So hopefully, what they did on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, arresting those criminals, including those who were buying them food, those who run around for them, they were arrested as well. And they gave up so much information, but, well, I don't know what will happen to them. That's why I said the exercise should not be made a one-off. It should be a continuous one. Well, again, Oloye Sunday Igboho, who raised the alarm, is now somebody that Nigeria, on the order of their Interpol, with the collaboration with the Benin Republic, kidnapped him, denied him legal representation, shot their court, and at the same time denied him all the legal representation that he deserves when they shot their court. Yeah, that's what they did. They shot their court and they locked him up illegally without telling him what he did. So we join others to remind the Benin Republic that Nigeria is committing a crime and Benin is helping them. And so sooner or later, Buhari will no longer have that power. It will no longer be there to make those decisions. And but the Benin Republic, as Buhari will be paying it the price, Benin Republic will also be paying some too. Nothing they have done now will go in any way on what do you call it? Unpunished. Let me use that. I just want to try and use something that is not so kind of harsh, but it won't go unpunished because none of them has gone unnoticed as we speak. Free Oloye Sunday Igboho is committed no crime, is done nothing. Even in Nigeria, where the Nigerian government initially declared him wanted, Oloye Sunday Igboho took Nigeria to court and he won. Yes, he won. He won big. It's not because of that money. It is just to make a statement that you can't just call me a criminal for doing nothing, right? But Nigeria is not going to pay because Nigeria is broke, according to them. So, which means with that judgment that Oloye Sunday Igboho, legal team, got in Ibadan, Igboho is not a criminal. Therefore, why is Benin Republic holding him? And why have they refused their court to listen to whatever allegation? And why have they refused to tell us exactly why they are holding him? Whatever the reason are, yeah, we condemn it and we continue to. If they are in position of keeping him today, they probably will be in position to explain tomorrow. And that tomorrow will come. It will come. I strongly believe that. So we say thank you to everyone doing all their best behind the scene. I can tell you, if you are not in the categories of former presidents, former ambassadors, current president, or maybe governors, even governors, maybe not governors. If you're not in the position in that category of somebody who can diplomatically walk into Benin Republic and talk to them, there's no legal way around this, except if they can find a legal means of forcing the hands of Benin Republic in a different way. All of this will take time. And we hope that somebody somewhere is working on this genuinely, seriously, to force the hand of Benin Republic into at least bringing Oloye Sunday Igboho out. So Igboho is not a criminal. He's committed no crime. Nigeria or Yoruba land should be praising him. But he got a sacrifice for the selfish political interest of few. Like I said, there'll be consequences of all these actions. Some of them paid by the politicians themselves, majority paid by you and me, especially those who continue to nudge them on. Nigeria, one Nigeria. It's not working. Think about that. I'm going to go. So thank you very much for your time. I've got a bit of a difficulty with my broadcaster tonight, and somehow it's not really ideal to take calls. I'll do that some other time. So it's good to see you guys today, or let me say it's good to be back here today after yesterday. So thank you very much. If you have the time, like the video. If you have the time, subscribe on the channel if you haven't, right? And also, if you probably have that time, share it with those who probably needs to see this. I'm going to see you some other time. Until then, good night from here.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá
Maiyegun máa wí.
ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjù
Maiyegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òwò
Maiyegun máa wí.
ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjù
Maiyegun ti dé.
òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú
Maiyegun máa wí.
ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjù
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjù
Maiyegun ti dé.
ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjù. ṣùgbọ́n ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé.